All right. So welcome back to the Be Warmed and Be Filled podcast. Um, this is episode 6, mm, and all the guys are here. We got Ace, Ghost, Wes, and myself, QuestLando. And yeah, how we all feeling right now? How we all feeling? How we all doing?
Decent.
Pretty good, pretty good. Can
I'm
I ask,
good.
do y'all eat before this? Just a question.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Especially
I've eaten throughout the day. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I tend to eat about 20 minutes before we start. But
got you. I like to be filled, as it were, before we
oh
start.
Lord, you tried too hard.
Wow, I didn't know. That was good. I didn't see that coming. Nice. Dang, I like it. Y'all in the sleep mood.
No, I was genuinely curious.
Fair enough. Before we and although I'm glad we're in a silly mood. Before we jump into things, anything that anyone wants to get off their heart, wants to get off their chest. I know for me, I don't want to say unfortunately, but I'm gonna be honest. This week I've been in a not so great mood, more like a funk, just with all the unfortunate news we've been hearing, and obviously we'll get into a lot of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a somber week for me, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same. Just day after day of shootings and killings, and pretty sure we all know. But yeah.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be a topic, then I won't get too into it. But I mean, throughout the week, no news affects me because I don't really pay attention to the news. But so yeah, it didn't really affect my week. Not to say I had a great week or anything, but
No, that might be really the way to go about it, and I feel like it's damn near impossible at this point for at least me. Not that I watch the news, but if you're tuned into social media even a little bit, you're gonna get hit with the news, and it's a whole wave.
Yeah, I'm about half in. Out. Avoid most of it. Catch some of it. That's what it is.
Well, I got bad news for y'all tonight. We're gonna be going through a lot of it, but it's fine. Sometimes it's a good thing to just get the bad news and the bad energy out. You get it out the way. Not that we're trying to discuss these things in order to just get them out the way, but obviously we don't want negative energy and negative spirits to dwell within us. So yeah, let's just go through it, and Lord will. Hopefully we feel a little better by the end of this podcast. So, we have to give a definite rest in power to the young brother, Dante Wright. Another, unarmed brother. Literally, I saw a post, and these posts are all kind of corny, but low-key is kind of right. As black folk, we're always just like one day away from being just a hashtag, and it kind of sucks that that's even a little bit true. But yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty sure you all know the story by now. If you haven't, this 20-year-old brother got shot and killed by a police officer, and yeah, I don't necessarily. Unfortunately, it's more of the same, just excessive police force. But this response from the police chief, this is kind of like a slap in the face, and the story that police department is running with. So go ahead and play that.
And listen to the officer's commands. It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. As I watched...
So, yeah. So basically, the story is they're saying that the police officer meant to tase him, but they took out their gun and shot him. And like I said, it's, I don't know, it's just like silly. It's like not even like what are we talking about here? And I'm sure somebody, you know, who can, somebody's probably repping and caping for the police officer in the police department, but it just literally just makes no sense to me. I don't know, am I bugging? Does that make sense?
I think I had the same reaction, and thinking about it now, they're probably not trying to make it sound as absurd as it does. So I think what they probably mean is she went to go for her taser and got the gun, and then once she did, she had to commit to having the gun out, maybe. And then like the firing of the gun was a consequence of that. But it would be super dumb to say she pressed the trigger thinking she was gonna get a tase and instead got a bullet. That sounds crazy. I mean, from all the tasers I've seen, they're not even shaped like a gun.
Well, actually, I actually dropped a pic that the Queen Magazine Wanted posted. I believe it's in that same channel. If you could pull that up real quick. But I'm actually not mad at what you're saying because, yeah, like you said, it just sounds like almost illogical when you first hear it. So I'm not even mad at trying to bring some level of logic into the situation. Unfortunately, no matter which way you splice it, the brother is still gone. But yeah.
Hold on.
So I watched some of the footage, and from what I saw of that moment, not to play white devil's advocate here, but
Definitely
it
white
did
devils.
appear, yeah, it did appear at least, or maybe it was a good acting job that the cop that shot him, she was surprised or shocked, I guess. Now that could have just been her retroactively after she fired the bullet. Her senses kicking in, and she has to try to make it seem not as bad as it turned out to be. But the fact that this happened at all, I'm only going to go so far with this advocacy because obviously there's no excuse. You're not even supposed to. The fact that they were on the same hip and in close proximity is in and of itself a mistake. Obviously,
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening. And even if by some far off chance that it was a true mistake and she meant to tase him, you don't need to tase him in the first place. Like, if that's the first step you jump to, and again, he wasn't even like fighting back. He was restrained, and then he kind of broke out and then went to go sit in his car. Like, he wasn't like going for a weapon or anything or trying to fight. But just to shine a little more clarity maybe onto
that's good as well.
The red of logic.
And to be honest, I don't even necessarily think we have to, when you're just talking about that specific angle of it, I don't think we have to even play devil's advocate because I don't think, or I think it's relatively safe to say this cop they weren't trying to kill this brother and then try to blame it on the fact that they were going for the taser. I don't think it was a whole intentional plot to do so. I could subscribe to the theory, to the theory of the logic that it was a mistake. But the first mistake was having that so much aggression that you can't even see what you're doing. You're pulling out the wrong weapon. You're going for your responses. It seems like lack of training. It seems lack of being able to handle your job properly. I don't know. I think
the first mistake was hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's either inexperience, lack of.
The ironic thing is, she was training another officer with her that day, so theoretically she should have had the experience.
And she should be on top of it. It should be front of mind if she's training someone.
Yeah.
All the precautions, all the procedures. Ready.
And let's get the cop's name. We keep saying she. We want to make sure we know like I said, I don't want to say this was intentional, but at this point, you kind of are a white devil. I think there's a link or one of the posters kind of give their story. Kim Potter. And one of the most recent headlines that I've seen, at least, is that while they were charged, I believe it was like second-degree manslaughter. They recently have been released on a $100,000 bond. So at this point in time, we're recording on April 17th. That's the latest I've seen, and I kind of hate to ask, but I guess y'all do kind of gotta ask. Just given the information, and obviously, maybe we don't necessarily have enough information to even come to a conclusion, but do y'all have any level of optimism that they'll be charged with the crime and put in jail and go through that whole process, or you're not holding out?
Not really.
Yeah.
This was a surprisingly candid mugshot for a while. But
yeah, it's unfortunate to say. I be honest. With some of the other stories that we be going through, if they got fired, it would be, if they got training, it would be shocking. But going back to the other thing, I did want to just pull it up because, the aftermath of it. Yeah, no, it's just as we've seen with other scenarios in the past, there's definitely been a lot of protesting, a lot of marching in the streets, and a lot of chaos that follows after it. And I feel like whenever these things happen, I'm laughing, but not necessarily funny, but it is kind of funny in my sick brain. There's almost like one story that kind of gets like, it really gets the real brunt of the mob mentality and of the anger. In this case, one of the bigger headlines I saw is this Dollar Tree in the area got hit up bad. You don't gotta play the video, but I think there's some good pictures if you just go over that kind of. Or I guess yeah. And I'll maybe include some of it in the podcast, but yeah, they basically tore up this Dollar Tree and.
Wait. That's not a Dollar Tree. That's a Dollar Tree?
That's what the thing said. They actually do like a jewelry store or something like that.
Yeah, and the caption says, in addition to other businesses, so I'm guessing that last
okay.
one of the other.
Okay, so they were tearing up a whole bunch of places. The Dollar Tree probably just was the one that everyone noticed, because why is it a Dollar Tree? And I don't necessarily want to stay on this too long. I guess I did.
Well, there you go.
It is worth pointing out, though, that I misjudged how people really feel about like rioting and looting. Like, I'm on record, I always kind of look at it like, obviously it's wrong, but you have to look at the cause and not be so. You have to look at the cause just like critical as you look at aftermath, which a lot of people don't do when these things happen. But I was going through like the comment section of this particular post, and a lot of people are very much of the mindset of just, why are they doing this? How is this beneficial? This makes no sense. It's a crime. How is it going to help anything? And obviously, again, those are all things you can't think of. I literally didn't see anybody in the comment section with the mindset of like, what do you expect to happen if you keep, killing people? But yeah, I guess the moral of the story for this specific thing is not to call anybody else, but you're kind of right, Ace, or you're not alone in your thinking. And I'm not talking about like, we know there's a certain group of people, or certain, like, if you watch certain news stations, you'll get that argument even before you get to the injustice. But these are not those type of people. I guess, whether you want to or not, or whether I want to or not, I'll just be following the story, so to speak. And again, rest in power to the young brother. Like, when these stories happen, I don't even necessarily fish up the entire details, but correct me if I'm wrong, you might know, Ghost. He got stopped because there was like something that they deemed was obstructing his view.
It might have been that. I think I also heard that it was like a overdue tickets or fine or something that wasn't paid. I could be wrong. I don't want to say that's 100% it, but it was something minor.
Yeah,
something that shouldn't have even been a focus of the police department. But they still made the decision to stop him and kill him over nothing, basically.
True indeed. Oh man. All right. So now this next story. I don't know if y'all heard about this one. This is so this next story. This is a veteran that got pulled over, and you can play it and you'll kind of get a sense of what is happening here.
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, well, guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car!
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I
you should be. Get out, now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest you're being detained, okay? You're being detained for
a traffic violation. I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped. That's f***ed up. That's
out of the car now.
I don't even want to reach for my seatbelt. Can you?
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. You made this way more difficult than it had to be.
So yeah, as you hear, and this is a brother. Like I said, he's a vet, and he got stopped for what seems to be something relatively minor. Something like there's a running theme in all these scenarios. And he had guns drawn on him, talked too crazy, and I don't even know what more is there to say about this. I mean, the outcome of this was way better than other scenarios. He didn't get shot, but he did get pepper sprayed. And if you've ever even been in close proximity to pepper spray, you know that ain't fun. So getting blasted to the face is downright unacceptable. To be honest, one of my main takeaways of this story is like, if I ever needed just one more another reason not to join the military, you join the military and still get treated like that? Nah, you could I'll skip that.
That's some like World War and stuff. War II as well. Like that was the complaint. Came back, we're still treated like.
Speak on it. You're absolutely right. Still N-word, no matter what. Yeah, oh man, I feel like last week it was more so about a lot of the mass shootings going on, but what do you think? What do you think about when you see stuff like this? Like, you could do one honest, simple mistake and get jammed up like this? Or does that? I mean, obviously, again, I know we move off faith and we don't necessarily worry about things like this, but dude, don't y'all feel a little like, damn, this could easily happen to me?
I mean, I think we're all past that at this point. We all know that.
Yeah.
We're not veterans. We're not.
Yeah, I
was
was a little bit surprised about the fact that he was an Army vet and this happened.
Yeah, and obviously that's not nice. That's not licensed to do whatever you want. But he would.
Right.
He was mad calm. He seemed like he knew what to do in this type of scenario, and he still got just all.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't fit the mold of. Oh, he might have been a bad guy that they usually try to. Because I mean, that's what they want. They want to be vet, pro-American type. And what are you gonna do? I mean,
and I see something.
Like it's one step away from being a cop. Like,
where is going? And I see stuff like this, and I really would like to know. I really want to talk to some cops because it's just the behavior that it's just wild to me. God, brother's calm as day, and you still giving him that type of energy. I don't know.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about the background to this because for some reason I saw this. I think it was on Sunday when I saw it last Sunday.
Fill us in. Is there anything that we don't know? Fill us in.
Yeah, so he didn't pull over right when they started to follow him or whatever, do the lights and everything. He pulled over a little while after that because he wanted to go somewhere that was lit, so that's why he went to the bus stop.
God, I'm so glad you brought this up. Continue.
So yeah, and because of that, the cops are saying that's why they thought it was a high, I forget how they said it, like high risk situation or something like that. And that's why they were on edge when the thing started, as opposed to, just a regular traffic stop where you don't necessarily, it doesn't escalate until you get to the person. Which, I mean, in my mind, these guys, like, when I see something like this, I just think they're not right for the job because they're approaching the thing from a fearful.
Speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell by the way he was interacting with the dude. He's full of fear, and so if you're fearful of something, that's not necessarily something you can control. Like, you can't control that emotion, but you can control how you react to that emotion and ultimately whether you let it dictate your actions. And I think that's something that any cop should be damn near masterful of. So
that should be first day on job training. You should be able. They should be able to identify whether you can handle a situation.
Right. Like some type of psych evaluation or something like that. Which I'm sure. I'm not saying they don't do it, but
no, they do.
It must not be good enough because this guy looks silly. Like the way he's silly, man. Like, it's just pathetic.
Yeah,
that's all I saw.
I can
also, they tend to operate on the idea that if you don't show them the deference that they think they're owed, you're automatically in violation. It's like you charging the guy, or you're not charging the guy, but like accusing him of obstruction of justice, practically, practically the old, we're arresting you for resisting arrest. Like,
Yeah.
it's nonsense. Like, what are you talking about? You just need something to say to me. It wasn't about him actually having done something identifiable that, that warranted that much force.
Man. So I said I'm glad you brought that up, and obviously that background even is really helpful. But the crazy part is, with everything going on, I'm sure we've gotten heard our parents talk about things of that nature. So mom's actually called me recently, just the other day, and she was telling me, she's been seeing things going on, and believe it or not, she gave me the exact same advice for what to do if I was ever stopped by the police. Try to get somewhere where it's well lit. If we're on the highway, obviously, try to get somewhere safe. So it's just interesting. That's a thought process that's on the back of people's minds when they get into these type of interactions. Like, don't just be somewhere in the cut. Like, try to get somewhere more visibility if possible in public. But
yeah, I mean,
obviously, I guess. Me and you're a cop, you can't understand that. I don't know.
The crazy part is the dude said the vet. I should know his name. But he said one of the reasons he did it was not only for himself, but it was also for the cops because it's helpful for them too when they have visibility.
Yeah. So they don't have to have that flashlight. They can just have a better control the situation. Man, that's wild. I guess the moral of the story is I would hope and pray that cops or police departments look at this, and because they usually have speakers on the cars. Can't they instruct you to drive towards a lit location? When my mom told me that, I did think about the fact that a cop could feel like you're bugging out and you just get ended up like this. But I guess maybe you should try to talk. You can get close enough to their car to speak. I don't know. These situations go from 0 to 100 so quickly. So I don't know if there's ever a right answer. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that puts the onus on the person. It should be off on the cop. But
I wonder if you could put your hazard types of thing, to let them know at least that you know they're following you and you're going to comply. But
yeah, I don't know. I be seeing these things and I just be wanting people to get home safe. That's the moral of the story for this situation. And again, salute to this brother. I see these things. I don't even know if I could be that calm. Y'all know me. I'm not necessarily. I'm not inherently aggressive, but you just yelling at me when I'm doing the most logical thing. I don't know. Go to the next joint. So this keeps on going. So this situation, it wasn't necessarily by the hands of the police, but it's definitely a sign that there is still that. I mean, we all know it, but if you weren't aware that there's still a sentiment of superiority within the country, this is just another demonstration.
Go away right now. Call the police.
Hey, they've already been called. They're just waiting. You know what? Maybe you should hang on a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Then we won't have to get the report by ourselves.
What is it you're doing here? And walk.
Well, you've been here 15 minutes now.
Let's go. Walk away.
Keep walking.
Walk away. Walk away right now. You need help? You got this one, Tony. I'm happy to help you. I didn't hit you. There's a difference between
Pretty sure
pushing
you were
you.
the aggressor, buddy.
You're aggressing on the neighborhood.
Someone came running at
Walk
the
back.
You better walk away. You walk away. You're talking to my wife right now.
That's your wife?
Walk away.
I didn't do
Walk
anything to
away.
your wife to speak.
Check it out. You either walk away or I'm going to carry your ass out of here.
Dude, if you touch
What do you want to do?
Lord have mercy.
Or what? What are you going to do?
you up on me.
Let's go. Walk away.
I didn't do anything.
I'm about to do something to you. You better start walking.
This pretty much persists like that. We don't necessarily have to watch all of it.
I ain't coming after you. You're in the wrong.
Wait, what happens though?
I guess we can finish it. I don't.
I mean,
I think he just.
do they fight? Does it go away?
There's no greater level of conflict. I think it just ends up.
There's only one way out of here. And it's right over there. You want to bet?
So yeah, and admittedly, there's not the most level of context for this, but it's too much context for me. You have a young brother, walking around the neighborhood, and he's met with this older white gentleman, or let's throw a gentleman out there. I have my suspicions he's a white devil as well, and it's even more so than if there is a level of, maybe he is trespassing in this cul-de-sac, if that's even a thing. It's just the energy. Y'all know me. I'm really big on energy. The energy that's being displayed here is not that of you're trying to just make sure everything is copacetic. It's a you don't belong here type of mentality that it's almost unfathomable to think about if this was a young white kid. And maybe I'm wrong. I do like to give people the benefit sometimes, but I can't, like I said, I can't really fathom it. Yeah, I don't know. What do y'all make of this?
So adding a little. Sorry, before you finish, I'm just gonna add a little context.
Yep.
Apparently, the dispute started when the bald white devil was asking the brother if he's does he belong to the neighborhood, essentially, the little cul-de-sac or whatever, which is ironic because it turned out brother's been living there longer than
He did. Yep.
he was.
Yep.
And I can tell you for a fact that where he is right now on the sidewalk, that's not private property, that's public property. He's free to do whatever he wants.
Yep.
Because he's not on his yard or nothing. Because I deal with this stuff kind of for work.
Ooh.
Sometimes.
So
I know for a fact that, yeah, I mean, that's kind of more legal-ish, but
Fair enough.
yeah, it's the telling him to get out of here, like this, like he owns it, which he doesn't. So, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
No, that was good, and I did know that he did actually live in that neighborhood. But yeah, were you gonna say something nice?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think this is the type of reason why this is something I wouldn't want to expose myself to as far as being on social media.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of video because it truly, like, not to say you guys are wrong or anything, but it doesn't provide context. So, I mean, unless you do that research, which goes, I'm not saying, you're wrong or anything again, but this is not something that I necessarily would even want to weigh in on.
No, that's 100% fair.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that came up in my mind was I want to get more built like this white guy, so he wouldn't be as intimidating, because he does seem pretty intimidating compared to this.
Man,
I don't want to give him no credit whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
brother
true.
off his feet.
even if I was standing in front of him, I wouldn't give him that level of respect to think that because he's more built or something.
What?
If it came to it, I'm still gonna swing on him. I don't care if he.
No, I'm not saying
Go
I'm
for
not
that
gonna
chin.
swing on him.
You can be built all day.
I mean,
Go for that chin.
I'm not gonna let that be a factor.
No, I'm not saying you're not gonna swing on him, but you definitely have a lower chance of any type of success.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying I don't really. That wouldn't come to mind. It would just be.
I'm saying watching the video. No, I'm not saying being in the situation.
I mean,
like maybe it wouldn't have come to mind in the situation, but me watching the video now.
That's fair, but it doesn't motivate me. Like I was already motivated to. I mean, the motivation level hasn't increased because of it.
To me, I mean, even if you was like a built like 7 foot tall built ass dude, I don't think the white dude's attitude would have changed because he knows that if you do something to him, then I'm not. This isn't really like coming for you. I'm just saying like he knows he got the cops on his side, so he's not going to be tripping and intimidated because.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got a little bit more mass. That little push he's doing isn't going to have the same effect. Which, I mean,
no, we get what you're saying.
I mean, that's true.
This white dude is. He's built bigger than the brother in the video. That's a fact. So it's understandable if there was a level of nervousness. And just I'm talking about cops, and he was talking spicy. Some level of nervousness is understandable. And that being said, and I know we don't like heat. If I was in situations, the man, that bald head would have been on the concrete. This is the type of stuff.
Gosh, stop playing.
This is the type of stuff I cannot.
Why would you do that?
It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time,
man,
you can't have that mindset sad as it is, because you're gonna end up dead. Like, I mean, the brother he got this white that was disrespectful, but
I'll go to that extent.
I mean, your pride. I get it, but your pride isn't worth your life.
You're right.
That's what it's come to.
You're right. I like that. I like that sentiment because I want to go off.
I get it.
I want to go off more, but you're right.
When I talked about swinging on him or whatever, it wouldn't be a first resort or whatever.
For me,
it would. If it came to that. But I mean, it's just like when I see stuff like this and I see people with that level of anger on them, I just like, even I'm trying to think. I've seen similar things, whether it be in real life, or other videos, race related or not. I tend to like. There's like a level of, I don't know, just like disdain. That's the word. For those people when they're getting heated like that. It just rubs me the wrong way. Like, and usually it doesn't even matter what it's about. It's just never the right way to go. It's similar to how the cop was acting in the last video.
Yep. The level of superiority. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because it's an authority thing tied in with it. Like, they feel like they have that authority over you to be like that. They really don't. Like, especially because they don't. It's like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. But this story reminds me. I told y'all about when I got pulled over down.
I don't recall.
Pulled over where?
Down the street or up the street, like a couple streets over.
I don't think so.
They weren't talking.
Yeah,
You might have told me. They weren't talking spicy, were they?
Nah, it wasn't really the cops' fault. I'll give it to them, but
somebody snitched on you or something like that.
Exactly. A couple streets over from, where we live. I got
literally kind of a similar situation. Yeah, you are in your neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly, in my neighborhood, basically, and there was a little area where there was the reception on phone reception would drop. So I was on the phone, and I didn't want to lose the call, so I decided to pull over. This was coming home from work. I decided to pull over and finish the conversation. Yeah, so I pulled over in a spot where I have seen people pull before. Wasn't anything unusual based on what I've seen in the area. And then, you know, some time passes and a cop pulls up behind me. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I should have left the person on the line, but I actually, or maybe I did. I think I might have muted it. But yeah, so the cop comes up and is like, oh, you know, asked me the basic stuff, and it was like, I guess somebody said the car that looks suspicious. Like once I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, and he was like, yeah, sorry, okay. But basically, you know, nothing happened, no altercation. See what happened.
Man, I guess all praises that didn't escalate into something worse. Yeah, I mean, this is just all too common. People sticking their nose where it don't need to be, and sometimes it leads to them feeling like they are entitled to escort you out or move you from the premise, which is wild to me. Yeah, I don't know. I look at this and the first thing I thought of was like, obviously, you know, take what we were talking about earlier. Definitely, if you're a brother, I would employ you to have a certain level you can defend yourself. I'm not saying this brother couldn't. He's probably being more rational, and he probably could have handled himself if need be. But, you know, try to put yourself in a position where you can handle yourself in most situations. And, if possible, don't be alone. I know a lot of us, I'm speaking to the audience, I know a lot of us, sometimes we just be out by ourselves, we be doing our own things, but given the possibilities in this world, if you can, I don't know what this brother was doing specifically, if he was really just walking around, man, go with your homeboys and chill, because bad can go to worse, just like that. And if this story ended in something tragic, it would have weighed on my heart way more than it does already.
It would have been a lot less bold. There were a couple other brothers with him.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you please, if I was gonna say something wild, let me not. And I think the last joint that kind of caught my attention, was just I think it's the link or the joint over, but just kind of update regarding the George Floyd situation. There's actually, I think I had 2 joints about it, but basically, because we don't even really have to play these videos, basically what they're doing, and unfortunately I've only been kind of abreast to these updates because this Shade Room and other accounts are like keeping up to date with the trial, but what they're doing, they're plotting to just let that cop literally get away with murder. There's this one headline, people react to defense witness David Fowler, saying carbon monoxide fumes from the squad car contributed to George Floyd's death. So they are trying to put together a whole defense about how it wasn't necessarily the literal knee on the brother's neck, but there are other factors that contributed to it. And honestly,
they put his head down by the tailpipe.
Yeah, and
that's
honestly,
not their fault.
And honestly,
okay.
If there was even any other ounce of thing that contributed to the brother's death, that's fine. But you can't Eurostep past what did it, and that's what they're trying to do. It's really mind blowing. It's not mind blowing, but it's
disgraceful.
It's disgraceful, and I'm just putting this out there to give anyone that haven't been keeping track, but in your mind you think it's open or shut. It's not. this officer or the officers involved, if you see a headline they got off scot-free, don't be surprised. And then I saw another one. If we have that one pulled up, I think it basically said like the force that they used was almost justifiable or something to that effect. Let me read it for what they say. Oh, and that's the other thing. They bringing in all types of doctors and quote unquote experts. We saw the video. Like, you don't have to bring in anybody. You could play that footage and it should be open and shut. But so this other headline reads: use of force expert witness for defense says the cop that killed the brother George Floyd was justified in his interactions with George Floyd. I'm not a use of force expert, so maybe I can't fully speak on it, but having a whole knee on somebody's neck, I don't even know if we have to have a discussion about that.
Well, yeah. So this is what I mean, I was aware of this, and for the gist I got from it is that they're saying he did what he was trained to do, basically. Which, okay, then I guess the training is bad because
the training's bad, the system's bad, the cop is bad. I don't care what training you give me. I'm not about to kill a brother. Like, unless the defense is truly that the training tells me I'm not going to kill somebody if I do this.
I mean, it probably does.
Fair enough. It's really a situation where again, we try to look at it, from a logical perspective, but it's a lot. Again, I'm just giving everybody a heads up. If you don't be surprised about if white devils get off from these situations. And honestly, at the end of the day, a whole brother is still dead as a result of these incidents or an incident like this. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. And good timing because we're encroaching an hour of literally talking about black trauma and these evil incidences. But I don't know. A moral story for me when I always see stuff that really makes my heart heavy is just, continually pray to the Most High. That's all I got. I don't know. Y'all got any other final words on this? On this this week of black trauma? That's unfortunately what that kind of boils down to.
I have less hope for this being resolved than the mass shootings. Because I truly think either taking away all guns or giving everybody a gun is the solution for mass shootings. But this, I don't know.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right.
What it boils down to is the system. All this talk about, we should be doing this to ease the cops' minds, and maybe this one cop, these cops, they had the wrong mindset. They shouldn't be that fearful. The system of policing, those people like that are the norm, not the exception. So, I mean, I'm not holding off any hope on it being changed, but that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. I wasn't even
really nothing about this world is going to change till the Most High comes back. But
true indeed. I wasn't necessarily going to add it because all these incidents weren't necessarily police related, but yeah, abolish, dismantle, and rebuild police systems around the entire world. To be honest, that's the only way. You gotta. I know people get a little on edge for the whole defunding the police conversation. I ain't even trying to hear that. I'm with complete abolish and dismantle. Let's start from scratch. But
I think they're
obviously
doing it the
that's
right way.
Obviously, that's a wish list. That's just a. Sorry, what are you saying?
I was just gonna say I think they're doing it the right way. You posted some videos where they're trying to change things up and get all the cops on rollerblades.
Dang, I might have to add a clip of that in the podcast now. Oh man, I like that. That's a good, nice, light, hearted note to wrap up that stuff. Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next joint. The next thing is actually, oh man, Wes was absolutely positively right. Pull up the, I don't even know what I titled it, the BLM thing. Oh yeah, there it is. Yep, that's it right there. Sorry, I bugged out for a second. Okay. Now, and I only have that line. I don't have the full story. So, but we don't even need the full story because we're not. It's not full. It's not a full topic. It's more so an update. And what do we learn from this? But this headline reads: Head of New York City's Black Lives Matter chapter calls for an investigation of organization's co-founder after she spent $3 M's on 4 homes. Now, the reason why I say M was positively absolutely right, and it's so sickening because it's like the will of the Most High. I literally found a story, and you posted at the same time, or I was looking at not you posted at the same time, but I was looking at the fact that you pulled it to the doc. At the same time, I was editing the video where we were talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about Black Lives Matter and it's because of that statement by the mother of Tamir Rice and some others regarding Black Lives Matter organizations. And one of the points you made while we were talking about that was sometimes stuff is shady. Stuff is money can be funny and things of that nature. And I was definitely on the side of, we don't necessarily know. So y'all, while it's not impossible, we can't just put that on these organizations when they're trying to do, they're trying to be for the betterment of Black people. But yeah, obviously this is an instance where they're not necessarily caught in 4K, but it's a very suspect allocation of the funds. Looks like it's going on. Yeah, not to put it on you, Wes, but again, since you kind of called it, what are your thoughts when you saw this headline?
Well, yeah, I mean, first thing, I don't know. I'll say, I'll put the disclaimer first, which is, I don't know her finances. Maybe she had $3 million sitting tucked away before all this.
Indeed, she could be bought.
Or maybe
sitting on Bitcoin.
maybe she earned it. However, I think it's stuff like this that kind of led me, or not stuff like this because it hadn't come out, but it's stuff similar or people saying similar things about BLM and how some of the stuff just don't seem on the up and up, and it's doesn't make things look much better. But I guess to give some credit, it was one of the head of the,
I'm gonna say the same thing,
BLM chapters that called for the investigation. So maybe they're self-checking, but
there's still might be some bad apples in the organization.
Yeah.
And bad apples in the bunch.
Also, she's a co-founder, as it says.
Pretty big.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say on this. But you know what else? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what I will say is, again, this is a situation where we don't know.
Yes, we don't know the finance. We don't know the full context. Yes.
So I'm not gonna not gonna say anything either way.
Yeah, so it's just an investigation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the investigation, that's fine. An investigation should happen if things do seem shady, but it's not for me to even weigh in on. I don't think. I mean, definitely, I don't know crap. So,
Yeah.
I mean, objectively, with no context, sure, but I'm not gonna give them the benefit of the doubt given their past shadiness. But again, you're right. You can't say 100% it's true or not. But
yeah, I will give a little bit of background. I actually watched a video this week about a YouTuber who got canceled in March, and
Which one? Will we know them?
I don't know, Lindsay Ellis. She's like she's made some videos in the past about like movies and things like that. She kind of reviews. I mean, I don't really think she does reviews of movies, but she does more like video essays on trends and things like that. She's a relative like nobody. She's not a big YouTuber or anything.
Why she get
But
canceled?
a tweet about Riot and the dragon or whatever movie that was, comparing it to Avatar. And of course, this was right when the Asian violence thing started to kick off. So the way that it was all twisted and misconstrued was pretty nuts. And she did a long video about it. So it kind of made me reshape my I mean, obviously we're all on the same page about like cancel culture and things like that, but
I don't think we are, but continue.
I mean, we're on a similar page. I think like we're not necessarily
No, I'm
for
not.
it.
No, I know. Some of us literally hate the two words put together. I feel.
Yeah, but I guess the thing that she did that was different. Well, yeah, kind of different was that there was a lot of stuff that was being pulled up from her past that she kind of went through the context for.
Old tweets.
And, yeah, exactly. Old tweets, old videos, things like that. And I don't. It just made me like really think about how easy it is to paint somebody in a bad light.
So, especially you pull up old posts.
Yeah, and putting stuff or not giving the context for certain things. So like, I feel a little bit more vigilant about that.
No, that's good. It's crazy how, I mean, maybe it took a little work, and maybe that added a little more revelation to you, but it's not relatively hard for this concept to come across a human's brain. Like, no one was perfect in the past. You could literally find something about anybody and get them out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand. We don't even understand that mentality, because do you want to get people out of here, or do you want people to change? But it's not.
But to also, yeah, I'll just say, to be fair, we just talking on here, and we're also not necessarily disparaging individuals. I don't even know the study's name.
Yeah.
We're extrapolating most topics out to kind of a what would you do type. This doesn't really apply, but like,
yeah, again, this was more so somewhat of an update.
Yeah.
Somewhat, you know. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I
mean,
I'll
get
just
that.
say I think the caveat is a little bit built in, doesn't.
Yeah, and I say I get that, but at the same time, more and more I'm like, I don't even want to be part of a voice that weighs in one way or another, because ultimately you become, again, like you become one of the many voices that is on one side of the fence or the other. And unless you're sure about what you're saying, ultimately you could have an effect on the way that person is seen. So it's still, I think it's still, I mean, I'm just saying this is something I'm considering good. A bit more now.
I like the fact that we're getting more conscious of things that we're saying. Hopefully that'll make for a better podcast. But and maybe that's even like off the mic conversation, because it is good. It is a
little bit. But I'll say, on one hand, or on the other hand, sometimes you just, well, I guess it's because it's recorded media, but sometimes you just talking like, oh, such and such happened. Like, we just comment.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I definitely agree that it's good to, like what we're doing right now as far as looking at stories and then putting ourselves in a situation. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think it's actually it's dope. Like it's I think it's beneficial, but at the same time,
Man, that's nice to hear.
yeah. But at the same time, just having the having in mind the people that we're actually talking about. Like,
Yeah.
They definitely have an effect. So
Yeah.
there's still that aspect.
That is, I don't know how we got here, but I mean, I do know how, but that's a great moral story, and definitely something that I will definitely have in the back of my mind moving forward. The only thing is I can't necessarily promise that it'll always be, because sometimes we talk about people that you just don't necessarily like, especially if there's, you know, some white devil bigot stuff, which we're gonna it's not bigot stuff, but we got something regarding that too later. But
also, I mean, there is also the philosophical question of how do you know anything about anybody you know first, or
That's
just because somebody told you that, or the news media told you.
That's a good question.
So it's like,
I mean, I think
it could spiral a bit.
I mean, I think it all goes back to, yeah, we are here just talking, but we do want to have a level of not objectivity, but we just want to make sure we make sense. Unless unless you say you're just straight up BS talking, like I do sometimes.
Yeah, and I think the answer to that question is being well informed about whatever you're talking about. Like, if one, being well informed, and obviously not having ill intent towards the person. So like, whenever you
can be well informed and still make a argument that's not necessarily there.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I was just gonna say being well informed and not having ill intent towards a person. So like, if you truly want to talk about something, you should like, again, you know, bring up the context and not have a preconceived notion about, you know, whatever the situation is. Like, if the facts don't bear that out, then, or the context doesn't bear that out, then you can't just stick to your guns on that, because it doesn't make any sense. So I think that's the answer to that. And I am not well informed about most of these things, so yeah, that doesn't help for me.
Okay, I mean, I guess.
Well, I mean,
based off that,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I guess I'll try to make sure we have as much context possible. I can try to do that.
No, I mean, I was also getting at the fact that at some point you're gonna have some media source that you're gonna trust for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which can always, you know, sometimes they gotta correct themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like, that's kind of why I was just saying sometimes we just talking, because even if we did do the research, sometimes stuff is well fishy or details or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, again, some of this is borderline off the mic podcast talk of how to like make sure we're doing as good a job, quote unquote, job as possible. But it's still important. I like it. And if it helps, I'll try to follow the story so we can see what comes out of it. If they're clean, then we'll give them their credit, and if the money was indeed funny, then we also gotta give them the credit they deserve. But yeah, next joint. Oh man, speaking of context, I might need to lean on you, Ghost, because admittedly, when this is like one of them stories you like see like bits and pieces, and you don't necessarily even understand how it fully came to be until you kind of sit back and be like, oh, okay. So I might need to lean on you, but I'll just say from what I saw, I did see that initial foul incident between Kyrie and the other player, who I apologize, I don't know. But I might have even seen what he said, because they do like the little slow mo highlight reel. But I didn't necessarily. It didn't. With Kyrie, the experience that Kyrie Irving got and the experience that I got from it, I didn't understand. So when I saw this post, which we're gonna get to, again, we'll go through some of the context first. I was just like, oh, Kyrie just being Kyrie again. I didn't put the pieces that they were related, but now I obviously do, and now we're back at the N-word conversation. But yeah, you know what happened, Ghost?
Yeah, so Kyrie Irving on the Brooklyn Nets, who playing a game against the Lakers, and him and Dennis Schroeder, that was the other player, got into it. And they both got ejected for the game. They were just talking and saying stuff, which is fairly normal on the court.
Yep.
Happens every month or so. People get ejected saying whatever. And Kyrie then posted this, which, given the context, would mean that he was called that by Schroeder.
No, in the video,
he didn't like it.
You can't tell that
you could, yeah.
You saw the video too, Wes? Of the
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was a pretty innocuous usage. Like, he didn't even.
Yeah, he basically.
It wasn't like a. It wasn't hard or just.
Posted in the chat.
No. He's talking about the video of the actual.
No, there was a video where he got called. Kyrie Irving got called nigga in a game.
A real game?
Yeah.
Oh, not just.
Yeah, and he was.
No, not that one. I posted that one. But he was just like, kind of like, I think he had his hands up like in the kind of defensive position.
I think he
was
like,
oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was kind of like, standoff, a bit like, kind of like a relaxed type deal or something like.
Yeah,
and
relax my.
Yeah, something like that. That's what he said. Like, it wasn't even like he was like trying to roast him.
I don't know if this is necessary, but a little more context. This was obviously another black player that said it, but apparently he's from Germany, or he's from Europe. Sorry, I don't know if he's specifically. I don't know. I don't put that on, but he's from Eastern Europe.
He's German.
That's another discussion, but we don't have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is the time to get into it. I don't know. But anyway, out of all of that, we get this Kyrie Irving post. By the way, Kyrie's Twitter is, look at his name, look at his Avi, all included. But he posted, the N-word is a come on guys, you know, some of these
derogatory.
words. Thank you. Racial slur. It will never be a term of endearment, reclaimed, flipped. Never forget, it's foul in true history. By the way, again, on that podcast, sorry to interrupt the post, there's more. On that podcast, we're also having an N-word discussion. But because the Asian woman that said it, or almost said it, but throw that N-word out the window, right along all those other racist words used to describe my people. We are not slaves or ends. Man. Again, I saw this and I'm just like, Kyrie just being Kyrie. This is the same brother that may or may not believe the earth is flat, and I'm not necessarily on one side of the fence with that conversation either, but Kyrie is definitely eclectic. Is that the right word to use? He's out there. There's definitely
eccentric.
Yeah, that's a better one. Yeah.
He said it here.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Oh, I get
it. It is, or at the very least, was at one point in his vocab.
This was about 3 years ago or something. 4 years ago.
I don't know if I have a question for this. This week has just been kind of a ride. I don't know. So I mean, I guess in so many, I've never said this whole breakdown, but I've had expresses before that, you know, I mean, at the same time, I don't know if I subscribe to things can't be reclaimed or readjusted, because language over time is changed. But at the same time, if something has a certain history attached to it, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we don't. If we really talked about it, maybe that would take like all night.
No, I think I got the solutions though.
Let's hear this.
No, it's quite simple. Either everybody has to be allowed to say it, but nobody can say it.
Exactly. That's the reason why. That's why I don't say it, because I feel like I'm wild in saying that. But that is.
I don't agree with that.
I don't like
you're
that
entitled
either,
to your thoughts on it.
I think, I just say that because I was thinking like, no matter what,
Like
as long as somebody. Yeah, exactly. As long as somebody is gatekeeping from being able to say it, it's always going to cause controversy.
Yep.
So you just remove the gatekeeping and it goes away.
So obviously that probably is like the logical sentiment. So real quick, obviously some of us here don't subscribe to that, and maybe there isn't a logical rationale on the other side of things, but real quick, why is it acceptable for black people to say it, but nobody else can say it? Because y'all are 100% fine with black people saying it. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
So
Ghost, go ahead.
Pass it on. Pass the rock. I like it.
So it was a word that's obviously originally had negative connotations. It was primarily used by white people to
Crackers.
be derogatory towards our people. And like Kyrie mentioned in the tweet, we flipped it. We reclaimed it and took it for ourselves.
But he said you can't. If we did reclaim it, then why?
I'm saying, but he's saying that it will never be. But I'm just saying that's what it is. And
so we flipped it.
Personally,
I flip it for everybody.
Exactly. Yes. If it's something that was originally negatively meant toward a certain group, and that group says, okay, it's cool if we say it because we don't want it to have that same negative meaning, but y'all can't say it. You got to live with it.
Also,
it's the same thing as some women like to
the B
refer
word.
each other as bitch. And
dang,
yeah,
that's not fair. Dang, that's a good point though.
How is it not fair?
No.
Go ahead.
It is fair. Also, I'll say when you were saying that, it made me think too. Like, I imagine that when the word nigga was being reclaimed or however it happened, I imagine. Well, and I don't know when exactly it happened.
We gotta watch a documentary on that one day or something. We gotta know their history. I feel like it was just a natural over time. Because you look at some of the old movies in the 70s and 60s, brothers were saying it. Jewish.
But
sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, setting. But I'll say, when it was happening, I would assume that there were still white people calling black people that. And if black people were trying to reclaim it, like imagine you had a kid and your kid has to be subjected to white people calling him that. If black people can, make that word acceptable among their community, it might take the sting off of it when they hear it outside, even though it still would, get to them, or it would still be a negative connotation coming from a white person. It might be somewhat.
That's an incredibly optimistic way of looking at how it may have happened, because I have a much more pessimistic thought process, and it would just be that the hatred that was shown to
was ingrained.
Black people was ingrained and internalized.
I feel like we're getting super woke tonight.
Wait. So you think that? But
what?
So you think that they were calling each other that derogatorily at first?
Maybe. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Maybe
it was. I think we've seen examples that there were. You just a no good nigga. You just another. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, yeah, it could have started that way too.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like people started
And
saying.
to be honest,
I don't feel like people started saying. And again, we have to do some research. I don't know if we know, but I don't feel like people started saying like my N word until like the 90s. Maybe that's a reach.
I think it was fairly recent
I think
because I'd say like the 60s, 70s, I was more Negro than nigga, but
yeah,
again, I don't know history. So
which is why I said I have a strange feeling that it was more recent than we're thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess that is a factor that we would need to know.
I did have one rebuttal for Ghost, and it was that you said we reclaimed it as if it was an easy, like that statement is a black and white thing. But the who is we is like one of the biggest controversies around it right now, because who can say it? Who says who can say it? Some people say, well, certain white people can get a black card, or they can basically get a pass for it if somebody allows them to say it. If they're within the community or whatever, they can get a pass.
And case in point, because there are examples of this that it come in my mind. I'll never forget that Louis C.K. He had jokes about it. I think Chris Rock is on record. He can say it. Like this is a real thing.
Right. And then of course we have people that say, Latino brothers can say it. Some say they can't say it. It can change based on where you are. New York, it might be okay.
Yep,
California, maybe not.
We talked about that too last time.
Yes. And all I'm saying is this is not something that you can just... It doesn't go away because it's people. It's individual people who were grouping together as just saying, well, we reclaimed it. It's individual people who have the idea or have the who we're actually talking about. It's not just we, like, oh, we're just all one. We all have the same mentality.
Black people aren't a monolith.
So my rebuttal to that is true that there is some controversy or still some inconsistencies about who should be allowed to say it or who can't say it or whatever, who's entitled to, as you were saying. But to me, when I say we, I mean everyone, all races, whatever, that were called it. So to me, Puerto Rican, Latino, all that, all those
I kind of like this.
ethnic groups are Israel, are black. And
so African people
even no, the African people are not out, because even though African people technically aren't Israel, they still are called it. Were called it. And if you're, let's say you're Puerto Rican and you don't think you're fine, you're entitled to say it, you weren't comfortable with saying it, but someone called you it, a white person called you it, that I think should fall under the umbrella of we. And that, sure, it's not going to be 100% one way or the other, you feel a certain way, but the majority of people who use it, of Israel, of Africans, feel that we have reclaimed it.
Okay. So this is your opinion.
I mean,
it's my opinion, but at the same time, like,
it's not that deep. Like, if we ask anybody in America, okay, how does the N-word work? The bottom line, easy statement, say it in a sentence, is black people can say it, white people can't.
Hey, I don't have to defend my position because obviously it's still a problem.
No. My point is that is the baseline rule. Whether there's particularities or not, we all know this. Like, that's not.
All right.
By the way,
cool.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm trying not to talk too much because I'm trying to listen. I would almost implore y'all to listen back to the podcast where we talked about it. Not all of it, just again, this is interesting. Sorry.
But nah, I mean, like I said, if you were gonna boil it down to a simple word, I don't think it would be that complicated to understand how black people feel about the N-word. If there's caveats, there's caveats, but I think it's fairly.
Yeah, while there are outliers,
To be-
there is somewhat of a consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I don't think this is a huge problem. Like it's not some it's not like the greatest problem that needs to be solved, needs a
Exactly.
solution. I'm just saying, if we wanted a solution, I think the solution is pretty simple. And
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Well, I'll also say
I mean,
this.
not simple to enact, but
There
as
you
far
go.
as like
Yes.
just a
Yes,
theoretical
we know the answer. Yes.
I'll also say this. In terms of this, because it is not the biggest problem in the world, and because it's just just a word, I've always taken the stance that okay, and it's like it's almost like it's beyond me in terms of the issue, because it's been an issue. But I've always said, like, if this is what black people want in return for the treatment in the country, they want a word, and they still get in.
We want a lot more than the word.
I mean, I know, but I'm like, why? I'm just saying, like, black people could want more. That's my point to white people who are hung up on it. And like I said,
what about
ultimately
black
at the end of the day,
this is a black person that brought this to the table.
What?
Exactly.
Kyrie brought this to the table.
What is your point? He can say what he wants. He's not gonna.
No. You said white people. White people aren't in this conversation. As far as, I mean, there are white people that subscribe to Why Can't We Say It, but we're not talking about them right now. We're talking about.
Oh, I mean, in terms of Kyrie, he's entitled to that. I don't care. I'm not. It doesn't really.
To me, this isn't something that
he's
needs
entitled
to.
There's a lot of black people. Sorry, go ahead.
This doesn't need a solution. Like, Kyrie's entitled to feel like it shouldn't be said by anyone, and I'm not going to tell him differently. But to me, I'm saying that you can't necessarily force that viewpoint on other people.
It doesn't need a solution, but it is a problem.
What?
How?
Wait. I'll say, like I said, Kyrie's entitled to say what he wants, even if he looks a little goofy in the video that came out. But no, it doesn't really faze me, because I know there's black people who don't like the word, and they shouldn't. I mean, if you're around that person, have some respect. I get it. Like, there's a lot of old heads don't like the word. It is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I don't feel any type of way toward them, their view. I understand it. But yeah, and like I said, at the end of the day, ultimately, no matter who you are, if you're want to say it so bad, knock yourself out.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, and not to quote Ta-Nehisi Coates, but to quote him, because I don't know much. I just know some things that I think about. But we won't get into that. He had like a little talk where he was talking about the N-word and why it's acceptable for black people to use and why it's unacceptable for white people to use, and he just made it like Ghost was saying about the B word among women.
That's
or
cheat code.
Or he said, he also said, wait. I don't understand why you're saying not, but we're going to.
I don't really want to get into that. Sorry.
He also, yeah, I mean, but he also, I think he also mentioned the fact that, like, he calls his wife babe, or like he might have an affectionate term that he uses for his wife, but he would never use that for a random person because they don't have that. They don't have the same relationship. So in terms of black people, if black people consider it a term that's, endearment or familiarity, it's familiarity within that group.
Yeah,
it's not familiarity outside of that group. You don't call some random person babe, or it's like it's the group.
That's good.
That's good. The only thing is you still have to address the history and the quote unquote reclaiming, because babe or none of those or whatever had extremely negative connotations in my mind.
B word.
So for me, I would just say real quick with the B word thing, I don't think that is 100% a good comparison, again, because of the who is allowed or who we're grouping into as being allowed to say it versus not being able to say it. With
women?
Yes. So with the B word, it's women. With
you're saying it's the N word. Wait, what are you saying?
I don't.
With the B word, it's women.
It's women and only women.
Without
there's no confusion.
Yes. Without getting into any, gender fluidity.
Yeah,
or anything
you don't even need to bring it up.
With the N word, it's you say black people. What about Latinos?
Okay.
What about
got you.
What
about
it's
if you're half and half? What about if you have a white dad? Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
But that's the equivalent
exactly
of the topic we didn't want to bring up. But
so let's not bring it up. We don't need to bring it. Let's not even do it.
I'm good with bringing anything up because I'm feeling kind of good right now. So.
I know you're on kind of on fire tonight, but we're on a time limit.
Nah, I mean if you're gonna
we know. It's fine. It's 100% fine. All
right.
I think I'll just say there's credence to that, and there's also that can get muddy as well. We'll leave it at that. And yeah, I don't know what the moral story. Oh no, the moral story is actually a thing that I feel like you said it, but a thing I always say: everyone, literally everyone, we're all given a mouth. Some people are dumb in the sense that they can't talk, but we all can say what we want. Just be prepared to deal with the consequences that comes with. That's what I say. But anyway,
I don't necessarily think that's a good moral of the story, but
I mean, I like when y'all throw y'all own moral stories into it. What's your moral?
No, I mean, I don't know if I have a concise one, but I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, I agree with what you said. I don't know if it does anything.
You want to know the funny part? I guess I'll throw this in there so I don't seem like I'm righteous. Although I don't think I give it off that vibe. Even though I am a record, I don't say the word. I don't use the word. Dang, I want to throw in two small things, but I don't want to drag it. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'll try to say it relatively quick. So one, even though I don't say it, not only do I not mind if other black people say it, I almost prefer it. That's just the natural or the little bit contradictory in me. And I don't know if I said this before, but it's kind of interesting. The story came across the timeline because recently, like one of my younger siblings asked me if I use the N-word, and I think I responded with only in my head. And well, that's true. It's not 100% accurate because I also say it. Oh, what I should have said is I should have said what Logic said. That's what I want to say. I remember this. I should have said what Logic said. I say it, but nobody will ever hear me say it. Yes. Salute to Logic. That's the moral of the story. Salute to Logic. Who was again? I'll say this. He is indeed black. But if he was walking down the street and said it, and nobody knew him. Anyway. And salute to Kyrie. Anyway, what's next? This was kind of random, and to be honest, the question that I have is probably not even necessarily tied to this clip, to be honest. But this dude Adrian Ross, who I didn't expect any of us to really know him. I only slightly know him because I think I bumped into somebody mentioning him on Twitch before. He's a Twitch streamer, and I maybe thought Ace would know who he is, but yeah, actually you didn't know either. But he's a streamer, and he got banned from Twitch. And if you know anything about getting banned from Twitch, you end up in Twitch jail. It's a whole thing. But we'll play the clip now. But yeah, he got banned from Twitch. Not because of something he did, but because something one of his homies did. So go ahead and play that.
Bro, what do you think?
Free A in the chat, man. Hey, we love gay people, man. Come on. Fuck Twitch, nigga.
You got me banned, but it's okay. Hey, you know what? You'll make up to me. You'll make it up to me tonight.
Bro, what?
You have to. Hey, I don't know why you're laughing. You are too.
Nah, I ain't doing nothing, man.
That's crazy. Hey, no, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I'm not tripping too hard. I'm good. We don't know how long yet. It's cool. You guys are gonna hold it down. We're good. We're straight. We straight. We're straight.
Yeah, free agents in the chat 2021.
They don't want me to win.
Free agents,
Twitch. My past 3 streams have been nothing but bangers, bro. Like bangers. Literally, bro. What do you think?
Man, these dudes be having a lot of people at their house.
Man, you want me to think of like Ace. And honestly, these are California, not kids, but Californian lifestyle dudes. They did those, what do they call it? What did Jake Paul used to call his house? Not the fun house, but like the influencer house. And, I don't know. Anyway, now.
Why do we know what Jake?
We won't even get to it. But he is fighting tonight. that's interesting that you say that. Anyway,
he is.
Yes.
Why do we care? We care about Jake Paul?
No,
what is this?
I just said
Isn't he fighting the MMA?
I give
Ben Askren.
Oh my god. Now, before I bring my question, we're going to play the clip of what got him banned. That being said, I'm not going to put it in the final podcast just to be safe, and because as I get into more into entertainment space, I am getting a little the P word. So go ahead and play that.
And his boy said it, and he got him banned.
Exactly.
Cold world. That's stupid.
Like I said, I'm probably gonna cut it, but basically, one of his homeboys just said the F word that rhymes with Maggie, and he got banned. So honestly, the question I have from this is, don't ask me how I got here. How do y'all feel about what would you because obviously we saw the I should ask the question. Would you could you still be cool with somebody that got you fired from your job? Because obviously we saw the follow-up video, and he was still having a blast in his little influencer house, and he said it's all good. And obviously getting banned from Twitch isn't necessarily equivalent to getting fired from the entire job. But yeah, could you still be cool with somebody that got you fired from a job? And do you understand the concept, not the concept, but the idea of somebody else getting you fired from, like, again, he didn't do anything. Somebody else did it it was on his platform. So maybe there's nothing you can say about it, but do y'all feel that was a rightful banning? Or understand the train of thought? Sorry, it's from my words.
Who posted the video?
Who posted what video?
It was on Twitch.
This video.
It was during the live stream.
Oh, it was live.
Yeah. So Twitch.
Banning is.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
banning makes zero sense to me. But
it makes
no.
Yes, Ghost, you my guy. You're my N-word.
Wait. It's content on his channel though. I mean, did he turn him off? Did he like?
No, this was on the stream.
No, I'm saying I guess they would have expected him to, like, the moment he heard or saw something untoward, they cut the person off. If that's, I'm guessing
he wasn't even there. He had no knowledge of him saying
exactly. He's not in this room. He's not in this screen.
All right, forgive me.
His homeboy literally could have ran in the room while he.
Forgive me. I don't understand.
Basically, he had the camera up and running. He was away from the computer.
Wait. I don't understand the platform, I think, well enough.
But you understand how a live stream is going.
Wait. Shush. So this is the only camera. Like he doesn't have multiple like people logged in. It was all one room, and this was the only camera. Correct?
Yes.
The one camera part is questionable, but yes, there's only one feed.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe it was this guy's picture.
Oh, you mean like a zoo? Like
Yeah, like multiple. Yeah, like multiple people in. Okay,
like
so
a real
he
setup?
walks away. Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I got one. So he walked out of the room or something.
Yep.
And this dude. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
The ban is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard, honestly. I mean, I expect it from Twitch, given how...
I see both sides to it.
I mean, if you don't keep your stream on lock, I guess, like, they expect you to be...
You can't lock it.
I mean, I'm not literally on lock, but I'm saying...
You can literally mute, you can mute it and then... Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, in terms of, like, if you have a stream, Twitch expects you to be responsible for the content that happens on your stream. I can understand it from that.
That's the logical business side of it. But but on the realistic side of it, any number of things in the world could happen. You could literally, what if you live in a noisy area? What if you live in New York, dead ass New York, and you're just on your stream having a blast, and somebody outside yells the most obscene words ever, and it gets caught on your mic. I'm getting banned?
I don't know.
Twitch will ban the frick out of you. And I think that's one thing to understand is that Twitch is not kind when it comes to these things. Like
I actually know. Okay, but yes, we know we know their terms of service agreement. Yes, we know they have a strict one. But do you agree with it?
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, but it's not a crazy like, how could they even imagine to do this? Because this is something that does happen. Like, I can definitely understand this from being in a regular job where, say, somebody uses your computer to look up something that you're not supposed to look up on your computer. Yeah, exactly. You might lose your job for that. And while it may not be, while you may not think it's right, like it happens all the time. So I kind of think of this in the same vein.
That's a hell of a good example.
You gotta lock your computer.
Yeah, we got rules about that. Locking computers.
True. But yeah, you also asked, could you still be cool with somebody that gets you fired?
Yeah.
I guess if you think of it in those terms of somebody looking up something crazy on your computer, I could still potentially see myself like not having a huge falling out with the person. It would definitely be an issue and a lot to talk about, but so just from that regard alone, I guess there are situations where you could still be cool with a person. Or I could.
So you'd be understanding.
But this is only
like that.
This is also only temporary.
He said he doesn't know how long the ban is.
Fair. Do they do? I guess they must do permanent bans too.
I don't know if they do actually.
Didn't Homeboy? I forget his name already. Didn't he get banned permanently?
Utex?
Yeah.
No. I don't think he got banned at all. I think it was just the emoji.
Oh,
maybe
really?
he did, but I think
what?
Emoji.
No, I think he got banned.
He didn't even.
Maybe he did, but I don't remember seeing that in the story.
Oh.
I just remember the emoji.
That would be the dumbest thing in the world if they took off the emoji, but he could still be on the platform having a blast.
Because, like, if he... Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
That would amaze me.
Because, like, I was going to say, if he didn't say anything crazy in his stream or do anything, that was against their terms, then technically it would make sense not to ban him, but again...
We might have to look up that story again because he tweeted something. He didn't do something on the stream.
No.
We'll go back to that. We'll look up that little again. What do y'all think, Ghost and Wes? Y'all cool with the homeboy that got you fired? I'm obviously reaching.
It depends how much I like the job and if I got another one lined up. If I'm getting fired from Walmart,
I like the honesty. I love the honesty.
And also, it kind of depends on what he did. Like, if it's a situation like this, I don't know. I don't want to say I wouldn't care, but I would stop. I would leave it at that.
Like, could you still be cool with them?
Yeah, and it's a high pay. Well, because he probably does relatively good on Twitch. It's a high.
Okay,
you
so
like the job and it's high paying.
All right. If it's malicious, then no. If it's just someone being stupid and
he didn't.
I don't know. It'd be probably
on your computer and it got you fired.
Oh, damn! If it was a case like that, I don't know if I'd be. I don't know. It's tough.
I feel you.
Because if it wasn't intentional and you just being dumb,
yeah,
maybe I might eventually forgive him.
Yeah,
right. But if it's like something real, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's just, is there a situation where you could see yourself being cool with somebody after? Not necessarily would you always be cool with the person in any situation, but just like, is there a possibility?
Yeah, and I could see a situation where I am cool with them after.
Yeah, I like that. I guess
there's a lot of stipulations.
I guess we're all relatively understanding on here. Yeah. The only crazy part is I feel like in no scenario, in no alternate universe could I flip it. Could y'all ever imagine getting your friends fired? Yeah, I don't think any of us play like that, both in the language we use and anything that we. Again, I'm used to, we lock a computer. You don't even look at another person's computer screen for too long. Like that's from the engineering perspective. I don't know what other people do, but yeah. And I don't know what the moral of the story for the story is, but you know. Be conscious of what you say on it goes back to the same thing about the N-word. You have the right to say it, but there's gonna be consequences. Well, you have the right to say it, but
not for him. There wasn't any consequences for him.
That is true. But I mean, he has to feel bad. He has to feel bad.
I don't know. Didn't look like he felt too bad in that video, but I don't know.
Dang.
For me, the moral is
Twitch.
Should I have added? Well,
I mean, we may explore Twitch as an avenue one day, so let's not, screw them all together. But maybe I should have added the caveat of what if they weren't apologetic about it.
If they weren't apologetic, I would not be cool with it.
Yeah, obviously.
You're not gonna screw me over, then just act like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty open and shut. Okay, nice. Salute. Actually, I'm not saluting. I don't. Like I said, I only know him in passing, and I think he himself, Aiden, plays too much. I think he has a low fan base, but I think he tests the waters too much for my taste. But I do kind of hope he gets it back. It would kind of suck if Twitch isn't understanding. But then you let one person go, and then you let a million person go. So I understand Twitch. And Twitch tries to have a nice family face, because a lot of stuff happens on that platform that is questionable. All right, what's next? I think we're on our last joint, and we're still under 2. So I am thrilled about this.
I don't know what you're talking about. Last joint?
Yeah, we have one more. Anyway, I'll just read it then, and y'all will have to bear with me. Even though I feel like I am getting better at reading, even though I'm not sure.
Don't say that.
And that's exactly why.
No, that's not what I mean.
Because the N-word's left.
That's not what I mean. It sounds bad when you say it that way.
Yeah, like you got a 6th grade reading level or something.
By the way, y'all can say that, but that just reminds me of the statistics that like 2 out of every 10 adults are illiterate. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, some N-words can't read. What's your point?
This dude is saying that as an engineer.
Come on, you put me on blast. I am a great engineer. I just can't read out loud as well as others.
My point is, you're doing fine. You just made yourself look a little weird.
You could have ended it at the doing fine. Anyway, so my apologies. We can't all look at this, but this article reads: a new survey pinpoints the happiest age, and it's not what you think. It's by Apple News, so I'm not sure why I wanted to. And honestly, I don't even know how I got to this. I was really I think I was literally like closing my phone, and then I swiped it to the screen, and it brings you the news that they give you, and this caught my attention. If you could stay one age for the rest of your life.
Hold up. Does everybody know what the punchline is? I guess not, because we don't have Apple News. Right?
Oh.
What would be your guess?
Oh.
Wait, what's the question?
He said, "What's your guess for the happiest age?"
Oh.
I would probably say, I would say 17.
Well, but yeah.
Was that? Sorry, is this for yourself or?
Jesus,
no,
I'm kind of confused. Is this talking about in general?
Thing. If you could stay one age for the rest of your life, what age would it be?
Oh no, that's not the question I was asking. I was asking
the question the article asked.
See, that's what I'm
No.
I was asking. It says the most common answer to what this question will surprise you.
Oh, and you were.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood.
I mean, the questions is one and the same. You're saying, what do you think the article? Yeah. You're saying, what the article is saying, and the article is saying, what answer would you say?
I thought the article was about what the happiest based on data, but
they do have.
I didn't know that was
data.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was the question they were asking. So it's kind of different. The question I was asking is, what do you think the happiest age is? And then the question they were asking was, if you could stay one age, what would it be?
I feel like this confusion is gonna make me have to cut this out.
Yeah, this is wild.
I'm sorry. You can answer. I don't know which question. All right, go ahead. I don't know.
The thing is, wouldn't those be relatively the same for you?
Exactly.
No, because if you think that the happiest age might be an age you've never been, then how could you want to stay an age that you've never? You don't know.
Plus, it is different when you're talking about physically. If not,
this is why the N-word is never gonna die. Because I feel like calling you guys that right now. Okay.
All I'm saying is my answer would be different for both.
Fine. Questions. Give me both.
So then. It is a different.
Are you gonna say him or?
I was gonna let you answer, Ghost, because it was
okay. All right, I'll answer because this is dragging on. All right, happiest age. I think in general, I gotta say 19. If you have to stay one age and not get any older, I'd say 23.
That's kind of cheating since I know the answer, but it's kind of interesting. Y'all are saying ages where you can't do. Aren't there like mad things you can't do at 17 and 19?
But I think you're happiest.
Yeah.
You're happiest when you can't drive.
Kids are 100% happier than adults, and they can't do nothing.
How do you say it? With
the knowledge?
I don't know. You get more responsibility.
So yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Wes, real quick. Let's not even ignore them.
I feel like the age I would stay is probably my current age.
My N-word.
27. I mean, I'm pretty happy.
Man.
I'm pretty happy with my abilities, my knowledge. Like, I don't know that I would want to reduce any of that back to a previous age. And I feel capable of doing everything I could before and more.
You know, the only thing that sucks about that, and then obviously we're going based off present, what we feel presently. But don't you kind of feel like, and if you think that way, you might be in your prime?
Well, yeah. I mean, it kind of does suck that as time goes on, if that age stops being my current age, that means that was maybe kind of your prime, like my prime.
Yeah, but all that means is that you don't know, and you could just be getting better. Congratulations. Now,
You sound bitter.
What age do you think you were most happy?
Would a person be most happy, like in general? I don't know. I just feel like the article is gonna skew high.
All right. So why did you even bring it up, bro? Okay.
What's your answer?
45. I don't know.
45 when you're about to become 50. Yeah, what are you talking about?
You got that
Let me stop. That's terrible. No, it's not 45. It's not 40. Maybe like 32 or something.
Okay. I like the fact that it was relatively diverse. Now, I try to kind of go through it, but you gotta read a lot of it. If you could freeze time and live the rest of your life at any age, what age would you choose? Would you be a responsibility-free kid, experience the dazzle and agony of your teenage years over and over again for decades, or would you like to be 20-something again with the world as your oyster? Whatever age you chose, chances are excellent you'll be surprised by the commonly picked age by a recent poll of 2,000 Americans, 36. Now, Amir, admittedly, 2,000, they could have gotten more, but yeah, the age is 36. And they just kind of go into like how 36 is actually it isn't glamorous. You have reached the point where you have experienced quite a bit, but you don't have the consequential aspects that you have of when you're old. Like, there's still a lot you can do.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. And honestly, I don't even have a question for that. I really just wanted to bring this article up, show that the answer to this question, because I think it's a question that maybe I'll think it at some point in time, but that is what the consensus is. And I particularly liked the article because it is interesting. As somebody that's 9 years away from 36, that's right, basically a decade. I like the fact that I could potentially be even happier or more content than I am right now. That's something to really look forward to, at least for me. And I feel like it's relatively, maybe not like a happy story, but it's a nice close off to this podcast world. Even though there's some good jokes and laughs, there was still some heaviness to it. So yeah, moral of the story is I'm kind of pumped about the next 10 years. And on not a sadder note, but I always do put this kind of someone could view it as depressing. It's interesting that I'm almost basically a decade away from 36 because I'm also on record. If I don't have a child within the next decade, we're closing that shop. But that's fair. That's fine. I wonder if it's kind of weird to be asking yourself a question like this, but I wonder if I feel that way about marriage too. I don't know if I'm with being old and getting married. That don't seem like the wave. Okay. Y'all ready for music?
Yep.
Alright. A lot of dope music. I feel like there's a lot of mixed opinions this time though. I feel like we don't usually get a bunch of mixed opinions. But that's good. We don't all want to come in here and just have the complete same taste on records. As long as it's all good. Or not good. As long as it's all fire. That's better. Anyway. Yeah, good podcast. Well, not good podcast. Fire podcast. IMO, of course. And I said that because what happened, what I wanted to happen, not what I said would happen. What I wanted to happen happened. There was unfortunately a lot of unfortunate news and incidents to talk about, but I came away feeling a lot better, or a bit better at the very least. But again, condolences to anybody that's been impacted by a lot of the wildness happened recently. I would say I was hoping for a better tomorrow, like that Wu-Tang album, but a story just broke a couple days ago about another mass shooting, and hey man, stay dangerous, please. Yeah. I don't think there's any other topics unless y'all have anything. So as always, is there anything that we're looking forward to coming up in the future, or whatever?
Gonna be fixing a toilet tomorrow.
You're looking forward to that?
Facetious, but that's probably a good analogy for my week. So
this also goes back to all the. See, I try not to swear a lot. Maybe I'll do like the FCC. You get like one S word and one F word. Goes back to the shit talk we were talking about as well. Anyway,
what's that day off on Monday? Do y'all have that off?
I think
It's
only
holiday?
I think only you have that, Ghost.
It's one of those fake holidays. President's Day, or
I don't think anyone else expects to not be working Monday morning.
Patriots Day.
I better double check, but I don't think so. I don't remember hearing people talk about it.
Man, this is a wild podcast. Off mic, we somehow bumped into a body count conversation, which maybe we're still relatively new, but that's not necessarily be our vibe. And is that really the best way to say that? That's what I was thinking about while we're talking about that. We're gonna say that for another podcast, of course, but not really. What is the appropriate? What is the grown way to say that?
Hit list.
Sexual partners.
Dry.
Y'all both said
dry.
Y'all both said terrible things.
Come on, hit list is good.
What did you say?
So you're hitting these women.
You said hit list?
Yes.
Why is it always murder?
Or some act of violence.
Never mind. You know what I was gonna say.
It's fine. Again, that's just an indication of that's not. Obviously we don't shy away from any conversation, but that's whatever. Like I said, we'll have that conversation one day, and hopefully.
I don't know if that's an on-air conversation.
No, no, you're not gonna introduce that, and it's 1,000%. I don't know what the moral of the story is gonna be. But we're gonna have it one day.
Yeah, that should definitely be on it.
All the same, I'm trying to think for myself. Yeah, it's kind of like a lull right now. Nothing going on besides work and editing stuff and stuff. I do have something coming up, but I can't give too much details. I'll say the most facetious version of it. I'm gonna cook a Sunday dinner. Yeah. Maybe I'll send out some photos just so y'all know that I really did it. But I'm not necessarily even looking forward to that. But the problem with cooking is I can cook all day and night because I mastered the art of I can make something that I will thoroughly enjoy. But cooking for other people, I don't know if I'll be good at that. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got the expectations go along with it.
I don't even think it's expectations. I just think I easily imagine somebody not liking something I made. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. But you know why I'm pumped about it though? And this has been happening fairly I know it was kind of sus talking about these with your homeboys, but I said I was gonna do it, or I told myself I was gonna do it, and then I think like that, pretty much that same night, I had a dream that I did it, and it turned out really well. So I'm feeling good. But yeah, that's gonna be my next mission. Anyway, we got anything else?
I can't think of anything. I feel optimistic for some reason, but I can't pinpoint anything.
It's all good.
Bitcoin.
What he said?
That's probably why you're feeling optimistic.
I mean, I suppose.
Oof, damn, never mind.
Yeah,
we're
Never
not gonna end this on crypto. But I actually posted recently, cause I just had this feeling. It's like, or I had to get off my chest. It's just like everybody talking about all like the weird ass cryptocurrency and weird IPOs they invested in, and it's kind of annoying. But the saving grace is I do like the fact that it seems like a lot of damn near everyone I know at this point is like tuned into like investing at this point, which is dope. I like that. And I hope that we pass a lot of whatever knowledge we've gained on to you. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't blow your money.
Yes. Invest. You can't even say invest wisely.
Cautiously.
Yeah. Oh man, he's good. He's good. Anyway, good stuff. Alright. He's alright. That's what I should say. Anyway. As always, thank you all for hopping on and doing this podcast thing, and yeah,
On Wes.
I got something. I don't know if y'all took away anything from this, but I hope you are warmed and filled.
You watched it?
No.
Yeah, I sold. This
Cut that.
Hell no. That's good stuff. I mean, that's trash.